professional analysis.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I've always claimed to be, no, I'm just going to tell you a couple of things about myself, and then I want you to counsel me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I've always claimed to be a perfectionist. You know what I mean? Like, I like things to be in a certain order. I am also, well, I'm not as much as I used to be, but I've always been kind of controlling. You know what I mean? I like planning everything as much as I can.
Right.
Like, I have a 5-year plan for my life. I have a 10-year plan for my life. I have a notebook filled with just plans of everything. I need to write everything down. I'm
Right.
very particular when it comes to certain things.
Okay.
Okay. And even like you said, perfection is something that we view with our naked eye. And that's
Right.
true. Like,
Right.
I like everything situated a certain way. I like things to look a certain way. But with me being a perfectionist and me, quote unquote, being controlling, you said that, what did you say about being controlling? You said that people who tend to be controlling are what?
You're happiest.
Huh?
When I say controlling, see that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna get to my answer to it. When I say when people feel like they because controlling is a mindset.
Mm.
You understand? When people that always want to be a step ahead of everybody. And if you think you're a step ahead of someone, you're probably a step behind. You understand? Because it's because it's my theory and in my understanding that when we let things gracefully come to fruition, they usually work themselves out. Like I said with my analogy, when I relinquish my control from it, that's when I gained control. So I think when you say controlling, I don't think that you actually mean the word controlling, because when we say words, let's look, like I said, everything can be looked at paradoxically. And I'm gonna allow you to get back to your thing. When you say perfection, that's just a negative word of saying, it sounds like you said you're just organized.
Okay,
Listen,
yeah.
now hold up. Doesn't organized sound more positive?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doesn't it? Sounds more. But someone could say, "Quan, you're stingy." No, I'm just frugal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, see, so basically, it's not allowing these societal norms to label you. No, I'm not a perfectionist. I'm just organized, yo. Feel me?
Right.
It's allowing these labels to really, really no. And so when you say that word controlling, I don't think you mean controlling. It seems like I'm gonna give you another what is it, synonym? It seems like you're just very ambitious. You're just very ambitious. What's wrong with that? You want when you want it, because you want to get to that. You want to get it.
Right.
That's ambition. That's what that is. And you saying you detail oriented? No, you're just organized. What's wrong with those two adjectives? Nothing. But if you say perfectionist and controlling, oh really? Now it makes you feel bad about yourself. You don't have to. You understand? Look at yourself from two windows. Don't do this, because if you're only doing this because you are listening to what others and what people probably have said or made you believe about yourself. It ain't you that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we actually really think highly of ourselves is when we allow those emotions of self-doubt and those emotions of hate and those jealous emotions of others to come into our mind, body, and souls. That's when we get down on ourselves. It's not us. It's what comes into the body that makes us think, negatively about ourselves. Right. But that was a question, but go ahead.
You answered it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And that was amazing. You did a very great job. Thank you. Because I definitely didn't think of it that way. But no, I haven't been told all my life that I was controlling. I've always been told that I was controlling. I was bossy. I always needed to be in charge. And I guess in a sense, yes, I've always.
Sounds like you're a leader. That's what that sounds like. That's another sin. You're a leader. So I want us as humans and people and whoever's looking at this, to when we get these negative labels thrown at us, please if you don't got it off the top of your head, look up a synonym for this word, and you're gonna see 5 other words that actually mean the same thing. You're gonna say, I'm not bossy, I'm just a leader. That's all. Because them same people, they want you to be a follower, and you not having that. I'm a leader, and leaders stand firm, stand up for themselves, and they speak their mind. That's the quality of a leader.
All right.
That's what it sounds like to me. You know what I mean?
I'm amazing.
It is. Not allowing the labels, the labels of life. LOL. Isn't that fitting? LOL. The labels of life. It's funny. The labels of life are all funny. LOL. Labels of life. Stop letting the labels of life control your life. It will destroy your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It will destroy you. Oh, wow. I have to lose weight for this. Oh, wow. I have to gain weight for this. Oh, wow. I wish I was 6'2". Oh, wow. I wish I had, $300 million in the bank. Shut up with that. And live your life, man, and allow it to come to you.
Right.
And stop wishing upon a star and make it happen. And be realistic with your objective. You understand? Be realistic with your objective. And if you are going to have a resolution, be realistic about it. You know what? I'm going to, no, you're not. Why the hell you ain't doing it in the last 46 years?
That's real.
Right?
Yes.
But if you say to yourself, you know what? I think I'm going to work on. You see how you can say the same thing, but just twist it. You know what? I'm going to work on that about myself. You know what I mean? Each day until January 1st, I'm going to do little things. Let's say I want to be more assertive in life, right? Let's say I want to be assertive. So I'm going to, for the next 20 days, when let's say I'm going to the grocery store and someone tells me something that I don't agree with, I'm just going to say simply, I don't agree. Right? You're getting into the habit of telling people you don't agree. So that's making you more assertive. That little simple gesture. Hey, I don't agree. That's it. That's all you have to say. That's giving you the confidence to say, hey, damn, I really cannot agree with someone, and it's not the end of the world. You become more assertive instead of waiting to January 1st to assert yourself. Get out of here. Okay?
Right.
No point. You're giving yourself a break. Give yourself a break. Love yourself more, man. Love yourself.
And I feel like for people who, okay, let's say it's not about changing yourself, but changing your situation. Like, what do you say to people like that? It's like, okay, in the new year, I'm going to have my new house. I'm going to have, like, not necessarily change themselves, but they want to change the situation. Like, oh, in the new year, I'm going to quit this job that I'm not happy with.
What would I say to them? What are you doing presently that's leading up to that objective? What are you currently doing? Let's say, let's bring the new house into it. Let's say someone, yo, you know what? Next year, I'm getting my house. Oh, so you must have been working on your credit this year. Oh, so you must have been saving money this year, right? Oh, you must have $20,000, $30,000 in the bank this year. If I'm going to talk about what I'm doing tomorrow, I have to be talking about what I'm going to do today. I can't talk about tomorrow if today don't exist. Think about what I just said. Think about that. Wrap your head around that. I can't talk about tomorrow if I don't mention today. Because if today don't exist, tomorrow doesn't either.
So what about like a person who, okay, so that person who wants to buy a house, you obviously need to work on all this stuff leading up to it. What about somebody who's in their job, they're unhappy, and they say, okay, in the new year, I'm going to quit my job. But really? I'm going to do it in the new year because what?
Why are they waiting till the new year to quit their job? Why are they not doing it today? For money? Is it that?
Yeah, I guess.
They need it. They need that next check, which is understandable. Okay. If you need that next check, that means after January 1st, you're gonna need another check.
Yes.
Okay. So if you are waiting to the new year to quit your job, I'm gonna recommend you keep it. Okay. Because you need to manage your money well, and you need to think of, okay, what is the true skill that I can bring to the table that can make me more money, where I don't have to wait until January 1st to quit my circumstances, because I have enough money on the side, either it be the stock market or to be in my savings, to hold me down until I get the new job. You understand? I had a friend of mine like that. You know what I mean? We worked in a crazy environment, you know, when I first became a counselor. And, you know, it was really like we all wanted to quit. At the time, I actually was an intern and I got hired, so I couldn't quit because I still was learning, you know what I mean? And I was getting used to getting money. She, on the other hand, was already seasoned, right? So one day she came in and on the train, she had it. She came to work and she quit. And she was actually out of work for about 6 months. Why? Because she managed her money well and she had 6 months of money in her account to live on. You understand? So you see how she actually paved the way for tomorrow?
Right.
You see, so she couldn't, you know what I mean? I'm quitting on January 1st. No, you're not, because you need that 2-week check. Right. You're not that. Had you been, you know, doing what you needed to do during the year, you would say, I'm quitting today, like she did. It's said than done, but I mean, that's a prime example of, you know what I mean? And putting yourself, and, you know, like I said, I'm an advocate of, and I know you are too, of working for yourself anyway. Because if you're working for yourself, you're going to make yourself happy and you're not going to shortchange yourself. So why don't you just go out there and get your own business?
Right. I mean, so it ain't easy, but it's worth it. It's worth the work.
Have your 9 to 5 and work on your own business. So if something go down or your business soars, you can quit that job and say, I'm out. My business is making me $100,000 a year anyway. I'm gone.
Right. And that's what we're talking about. Like the stupidity of a New Year's resolution. It's like, okay, you're going to quit your job January 1st, like you said, but if you weren't working that year before, if you weren't working in any of those months leading up to it, what the heck are you going to do? You just going to up and quit? It's not going to work. And if you're out here touting to yourself or to your family, like, okay, January 1st, y'all, I'm going to quit. January 1st, y'all, I'm going to quit. Who are you trying to convince?
Right. Exactly. You're not convincing nobody. Because you need to keep whoever this person actually exists.
No.
Oh, okay. My
I was just coming out with an analogy.
I'm about to say, I hope they watching this. Please tell them don't quit that job now because you need that money.
No, I was just trying to think because I think it's important. Like we were talking about New Year's resolutions being changes on yourself, but sometimes New Year's resolutions are actions. Like somebody says they're going to do something in that new year.
That's right. It's an action.
It's an action.
You know, but my thing is why I'm not. See, I'm only speaking from my personal feeling. No one has, none of this is ingrained into the Bible. None of that. You know what I mean? I'm speaking from my understanding of life. I don't talk about things that I'm not a window shopper. You understand?
No.
When it comes to, I'm not a window shopper. I don't go into stores or I don't aspire things that one, I can't get, or two, I'm going to get next week. You understand? Yeah. I'm not a window shopper. Why? Because I'm like, I come to the table, because my thing is, if I don't have it, just like I'm legally blind in both eyes, someone knew, my higher power knew, you know what? He don't need his eyes. He got so much more. You understand? So I never was one of those people that felt like, damn, I wish I had 20/20 vision. Why? Because the person that put me on this, that is allowing my heart to beat right now, he or she, no, he don't need his eyes to take care of business. There's some people that don't have their legs, born without no legs. Obviously, they don't need their legs to take care of business. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't aspire what I don't have.
Right.
I've never been. Thus, the resolution is BS. Why am I gonna? If I want it that bad, I'm going out here right now and I'm going to take care of that business right now, right now. Not 2 weeks from now. Or if I don't have it, I'm going to work my way to it. Like you said, I'm going to work my way to it. Or I'm not even going to go at it. Exactly. Why? It's a waste of time.
I also think it's important, though, to talk about the fact that for those who are attempting to achieve something by the new year, whatever, it's important to know that failure is an option. You know what I mean? Because, like, the whole idea of resolutions is that we give ourselves these ridiculous objectives and we set insane standards knowing good and well we're not going to reach it. And then we try to convince ourselves that it is attainable. But good and well is not. And it's okay if it's not. If you want something that's so far out of your reach, there's nothing wrong with wanting it as long as you're actually making the steps, taking the steps that you need to take to reach it. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, you say you're going to do something so wild and insane by the new year, and everybody's supposed to believe, or you yourself are supposed to believe that it's attainable. No, how? How is it obtainable when you have done nothing to build yourself up to get it? But it's okay if it's not reachable. It is all right.
Right.
It's okay to fail.
Absolutely.
If you keep that idea in your head, like, this is what I want to do by the new year, but it's probably not going to happen. So that's okay. So you could come up with contingency plans. You could come up with plan A, plan B, whatever. You could think about what other ways to achieve it if the way that you had in your head doesn't work. Like, there's so many other ways to keep it positive so that by mid 2021, you're not looking at yourself like a failure.
Right. Failure, and that was eloquently put, honestly. Failure is definitely an aspect of triumph. And you viewers, you can quote me on that. Failure is an aspect of triumph. Okay? When I was younger, my mother had a saying that I used to go by until I got older. She said, to try is to fail means if you can't gracefully get it, you shouldn't have it. So that's what she said to me, and that's how I felt. And when I got a little older, it's basically I had to adopt my own mantra, man. You know? And I'm like, nah. Some things take progression. Everything takes progression. So I said, okay, all right. So, that's what I'm saying. As being, when they say, as a child, you thought as a child, when you become an adult, you gotta form your own methodologies, your own theories, your own hypotheses. That's gonna create your journey. You understand? So as an adult, I said, yo, you know what? No, that's not true. You know what I mean? When the little babies learn how to walk, they fall all the time, right?
Yeah.
That failure is an aspect of their triumph. You understand? If they didn't try to do that, they would never learn how to walk. You did? You know what I mean? So, so I had to, incorporate my own little thing and say, yo, no. Practice makes permanent. And I got that from actually a former professor that a psychology professor that I had when I was in my undergrad studies. And that's how I started thinking about this idea of perfection. And I said, damn, he's right. Practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanent. And that basically means if you practice something enough, you're going to permanently embed this into your repertoire. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. When you get up in the morning, Portia, you don't have to think about brushing your teeth anymore.
You just do it.
You just do it. Why? Because you've done it for so many years. You have permanently embedded that act into your repertoire. You understand? You know what you have done also? You've taken the label away from the act also. You've taken the label away from the act. And that goes with good things too. Like I said, with the assertive analogy, if I just, say, hey, you know what? When I disagree with someone, I'm just going to say the little simple words, I disagree. And after a week or a month or 2 weeks or whatever, it's going to be, I disagree. And I'm going to be able to say why I disagree. You understand? It's gonna grow into me becoming an assertive person that, is not worried about a disagreement.
Right.
Okay? Because that's the objective. If I don't start with that little word, I disagree, it never comes to fruition. Never. I have to start with that little word. Basically, crawl before you walk type thing, right?
Yeah. You gotta start somewhere. So okay, the bottom line, resolutions are BS, right? That's the bottom line. There's nothing wrong with failure. Right. There's nothing wrong with the plan, but there's something wrong with creating a date in order to achieve it.
Right.
I'm sorry, not a date in order to start to achieve it.
Start today.
Start today.
Understand that every breath that you breathe every day is that's your good fortune. If you wake up in the morning, I don't care about your circumstances either. If you wake up in the morning, you have been abundantly blessed. And I'm not trying to bring in the Christianity into it, but from a spiritual component, from a wellness component, and a mindful component. If you wake up in the morning, you have been abundantly blessed. Why? Because you have another day to try to recreate yourself. So that's I'm putting it off until January 1st. You understand? For real, for real. You know, as y'all can see, I got my Giants apparel on. You know what I mean? Go Packers.
Packers.
but you know what? You know, I want to say, you know, my cousin Saquon Barkley, you know what I mean? Get well, baby. He'll be back next September and full stride, and he's gonna take care of business. All right.
Although I'm sorry, I do have to put in here. Portia Mystique Steele was born and raised in Pittsburgh, PA. So she bleeds black and gold, baby, not blue and white.
You know what? We shall see. The playoffs is coming up, and we will prevail. Okay.
Who's gonna prevail? The Giants, because their division is.
We might have to take a friendly gesture on that. We might. I'm not a betting man, but I just might have to prove you wrong.
Prove me wrong about what?
That your team is gonna falter. Well, we'll get into
the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
And what is our record right now this season?
They're like 10-2.
11-2.
11-2. But they say it shows you how your playoffs is going to be, how you lead into the playoffs. I mean, if you're losing leading into the playoffs, you're going to become accustomed to losing. It's a habit.
We're going to have a whole nother podcast just about football. Because I have stats that we need to run through and a couple of players that we need to talk about and a couple of...
She's going in right now.
I'm sorry, y'all. I am a football fanatic. And like football is my everything, and especially when it comes to the Steelers. So
let me sign off so she could go in on me off air. From Quan John, Motivation Motives, and the Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Portia Mystique, 100.
Bye.